When in Kentucky, drink as the Kentuckians do. Hello and welcome to Intoxicated Masculinity. If it's Wednesday, we have a cocktail video coming at you. Today we are going to continue our November month of bourbon cocktails. Today we are going to be doing the Kentucky Tea. I really don't have any history on this cocktail. I couldn't find the date of its creation, but it just looked like an interesting cocktail. It's very similar in creation to the Dark and Stormy. I think this is very definitely created as a variant of that cocktail, but with bourbon base instead of a rum base. And because of that, I think it has the potential to be a really good cocktail. But because we have no history of the cocktail to talk about, let's start making the cocktail. All right, we're back and we have some ingredients. Again, like I said, this is very similar to a Dark and Stormy, so we're actually going to top off this in a Collins glass. But we're going to start with our ingredients that we're going to shake up. Starting off, we are going to use 1 ounce of our fresh squeezed lime juice. Now this calls for, well, it calls for triple sec or Cointreau. I'm actually out of Cointreau at the moment, so we're going to use dry curacao. That is going to be 1 ounce of our dry curacao. For our sweetness, we're going to add in ½ an ounce of simple syrup. And obviously, as our whole premise of this month is our base spirit is going to be bourbon, in this case 2 ounces. Once again, I am going to use Ezra Brooks Cask Strength, just to make sure we have the right degree of punch. Toss that in. Now we just got to get some ice in our shaker and shake this thing up. All right, let's go ahead and pour that into your ice, give it a good pound, and give it a good shake. Once you got a good layer of frost on your shaker there. So we're going to double strain this into a chilled Collins glass. Again, much like you would a Dark and Stormy. So you're going to double strain that in. And just like our Dark and Stormy, we're going to top that. Well, in this case, a Dark and Stormy calls for ginger beer. This calls for ginger ale, but very similar. We're just going to top that up with our ginger ale. And we're going to garnish with a lime wedge. Toss that right in there with it. And there you have your Kentucky Tea. I'm going to turn that just a little bit just to try and incorporate that ginger ale. Not too much, you don't want to make it go flat, but just get a little incorporated. And let's try that, see what we think. It's interesting. I think, so it's not a bad cocktail necessarily. I think that in this particular proportions, there's a little bit too much ginger ale in there. I'm not quite sure how to solve that. I mean, you could just serve this up and toss in just a splash of ginger ale and put it in, say, a coupe glass. That's a little better, actually. It doesn't have quite the ginger bite that I would like. I'm going to try something. So this is ginger liqueur. This is going to add a little bit of sweetness. I'm just going to toss in ½ an ounce and kind of incorporate that a little bit. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. Honestly, maybe even just 1/4 ounce of a ginger liqueur. Just gives that bite, because ginger and bourbon work really well together. Because the bourbon's bringing the sweetness and the ginger liqueur is bringing that little bit of bite. Yeah, I think that's actually a lot better. I think if I made this at home, I would add in just a ½ ounce of a ginger liqueur, and possibly experiment with using ginger beer instead of ginger ale. Yeah, I think that's quite a bit better. It gives it a little more depth, a little bit more bite. Yeah, that's just a little bit better cocktail. But on that bombshell, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a good drink, and have a good day. And there you have your Tennessee tea.
Kentucky tea.